Thank you. Welcome one and all. My name is Kyle Medier, and it is my honor and privilege to serve as principal at Walled Lake Central High School. Before beginning our commencement, could all past, present, and officially committed future U.S. military members please stand in the audience for recognition? Audience, let's please recognize these individuals with a round of applause. Thank you for your service. Welcome to Walled Lake Central's 101st Commencement. At this time, I want to introduce our honored platform guests. First, our Walled Lake Consolidated Schools Board of Education, Secretary Craig Peterson, Treasurer Stephanie Kaplan, and the trustees Peggy Casagrande, Denise Dunn, and Nancy Van Leeuwen. We also recognize Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Kenneth Gutman, Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Michael Lons, and Assistant Superintendent of Learning Services, Mrs. Catherine Kohansky. I would also like to recognize and thank the faculty and staff of Walled Lake Central for sharing this evening with our students. I would also like to thank Walled Lake Central's office staff, Missy Mergner, Pam Dirth, and Tracy Coram for their work in making this event possible tonight, as well as our fantastic assistant principals, Joseph Bell, Stuart Riley, and Dr. Nick Hamblin. Round of applause for our administration and staff. Thank you. Parents, families, and friends of the class of 2022, this is also a time to congratulate you. Today's graduation has only been made possible through your guidance, support, and encouragement. Graduates, as a sign of appreciation and gratitude, let's give our families and friends a round of applause. And now, please welcome to the stage our senior class president, Elia Sechrist, and our student council president, Raquel Putras.
Good evening, parents, teachers, families, and seniors. Welcome to Walled Lake Central Class of 2022 Commencement. I am Raquel Putras, the Walled Lake Central Student Council Executive President. Elia and I would like to be the first to congratulate all of you.
Now we request that the audience please stand as you are able, and gentlemen, remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem by Walled Lake Central's choir under the direction of Miss Olivia Bloomer. After the singing of our national anthem, please be seated and enjoy a musical selection by our choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hi, everyone. As some of you may know, my name is Raquel Putris, and I'm Student Council Executive President. Everyone here is gathered here tonight to celebrate, commemorate, and take awfully zoomed-in pictures for Snapchat to see. Love you, Mom. Surely the class of 2022 can second me on this when I say that this is the most bizarre high school experience, to say the least. We started off cheering at football games and pep assemblies freshman year to getting shut down sophomore year. If you ask me, I was pretty thrilled to get an early spring break, but no one knew it would be that long of a break. Most of us were fully virtual junior year, which, in my opinion, I enjoyed making sweet potato fries while hearing Compton's lectures about shampoo. If you know, you know. Fast forward to this year, senior year, with the need to make up for lost time, some of our best high school memories were made. Every tradition we continued felt more special since it had been 2 years since we had last done it. I don't think I'll ever forget these memories because they were made with people I'll never forget. I hope each and every one of you graduates feel the level of satisfaction I feel. Hard work and perseverance really paid off. Everyone here has put in enough or more than enough effort in order to walk across this stage, and for that, I think we deserve a huge round of applause. Our last 4 years of high school have been spent alongside of each other, and I'm so happy and amazed by all of my classmates to see where life takes them next. Leaving high school is bittersweet for our graduating class, but it's only bitter for our teachers, staff, and admin, because they'll never have a class as good as ours. I want to end off this speech with a quote for the class of 2022. "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Eleanor Roosevelt. This is where the chapter ends, but it is also where another one begins. Best of wishes to everyone here. And now to pass it off to our senior class president, Elia Seacrest.
Good evening. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Elia Seacrest, and I am the president of the class of 2022. I would like to start by thanking everyone, families, teachers, administrators, friends, peers. As we walked together over these past 4 years, we developed a special bond that I strongly believe no other class was able to experience. It's freshman year. We, as 14-year-olds, are filled with excitement. We're finally here. We made it out of middle school and into high school. These next 4 years will go by faster than you know. At least, that's what we're being told. But that's not what matters. What matters now is we are finally in the student section on Friday nights, finally able to go to homecoming dances. Everything we've waited for is finally here. As the years go on, people meet new friends and stay close with old. Friend groups are forming but aren't concrete, to say the least. And before you know it, it's summer vacation. Summer comes and goes, and once again, we are walking through the front doors of Walled Lake Central, now as sophomores, much more mature than how we left. As we begin to get more comfortable with each other, life becomes a sweet routine of school, extracurriculars, friends, family, the occasional party, etc. We begin to get our driver's license, with it coming a small taste of freedom and the reassurance to our parents that we are grown now and we don't need a curfew. We start forming friendships we truly enjoy and continue to grow as people. Just as the true rhythm is put in place, we are sent home for 2 weeks, which, as we all know, turns into many, many months. Even in lockdown, we did not stop talking and sharing the exciting things that come with sophomore year. Group FaceTimes grew in popularity, celebrations took to the streets with birthday parades, bonds with our families grew stronger, and despite the unknown and fear that COVID-19 carried, we continued to experience positives, which only made our class grow closer together. As junior year approached closer and closer, our endurance strengthened as we bore the weight of college applications, rigorous classes, as well as the infamous SAT and ACT, all while balancing online learning. Online learning became more familiar as we began to successfully navigate Zoom and Google Classroom on a daily basis. It was not ideal, but understanding that we had to make the most of this situation, small study groups began to form, as well as gatherings over Zoom. But above all, hanging on to the hope that this would reach an end and we will be back in person for our senior year. That brings us to August 25th, the first day of senior year. No one really tells you how bittersweet senior year is. As you look around at the people who you've known for most of your life and realize that it's slowly coming to an end. Our last football game, last pep assembly, last homecoming. As the realizations set in, a growing appreciation for the remaining time we had together was seen throughout the school. Pep assemblies were louder, sports crowds grew in size, spirit weeks were looked forward to, and as time continued on, we only grew closer. As I stand before you today as graduating seniors, we can look back on the important qualities that our time at Walled Lake Central taught us. Excitement in new experiences, maturity beyond what we understand, endurance for unexpected, difficult situations, and the appreciation of simple times that will supply the rest of our lives with good memories. I hope you are able to look back on our time together with contentment and forward with confidence as we take the next step towards the rest of our lives. I would like to end by thanking all of you for growing alongside me. Best of luck to you. I cannot wait to see what we all accomplish. And as always, go Vikings.
Thank you, Raquel. Thank you, Elia. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. What a wonderful event to cap off 13 years of K-12 education for you. This is the culmination of your K-12 educational experience, and your parents and the entire Walled Lake Central faculty, staff, and administration are so tremendously proud of all of you. Before we recognize the academic achievement of our graduates and send them off into the bigger world, I would like to take this opportunity to address our students. After all, they haven't graduated yet, so I still get to have a word. This year has given us much to be thankful for. Much of your high school experience was during a global pandemic that affected all of us in ways that we could not have imagined prior to March of 2020. Despite this societal shutdown, you graduates have achieved so much, such as the achievement that nearly $1.5 million in scholarship money has been earned for college. The achievement that over 90% of you are continuing your education in college, and that when combined with the 10% of you who are directly entering the workforce, 100% of you are going to make a difference in our society and in the economy. The achievement that dozens of you earned perfect fives and even more of you earned college credit on your AP exams, and that there are students who are already beginning to take their college classes as we speak. The achievement that our athletics teams have won city, MHSAA district, and regional championships, league championships, and individuals as soon as yesterday at the track and field finals have earned numerous athletic medals through blood, sweat, and tears. The achievement that our band, percussion, and color guard have continued to compete at the highest levels in the state and have won state championships in these areas. The achievement that you seniors helped bring live music and live theater back to the Walled Lake Central stage. The list goes on and on and on of your achievements. And the fact that each and every one of you is sitting here today is a huge, remarkable achievement, and you all deserve another round of applause for making it through the pandemic and persevering no matter what a virus or society threw at us. But we are also thankful. We are thankful that we were able to end the school year with face masks being optional for our students, and the return of visibly smiling faces was overdue in our hallways, in our classrooms, and in our gymnasiums. We are thankful that while many of us have contracted the virus, and some of us have suffered additional complications or even lost loved ones, we are healthy enough to be here today, together, under one roof. And we recognize and we are saddened by the unfathomable suffering in communities from Oxford to Texas. But we are thankful that our school has remained a safe place for our students to learn, to prepare, and to thrive as they move forward toward their futures. Graduates, I was thankful that most of you were ready to rise to the challenge of returning to in-person school this year and that we had an option for those who were not. For the better part of 2 years, you were at home trying your best to learn and to succeed while your teachers did their very best to teach you and help you grow along the way. But it was time this past fall to return to school, and while many in our society and our community were concerned that students would not be ready to return to school, in person, that you wouldn't remember how to do school, that it would be nearly impossible for you to be successful. You proved them wrong. Here you are today as high school graduates, many of you having earned admission to prestigious universities, military academies, and even with some of you having already started your careers long before your peers. You were ready, you did it, and you proved that Walled Lake Central Vikings were up to the challenge. But that doesn't mean that the school year was always easy and that everything went as planned. Returning to in-person school meant that teenagers would be teenagers, and we all know what that means. I combed through our records, and I discovered that our Vikings did get into a little bit of trouble this year during high school. We come back to school in person, and these types of things do happen. As unconventional as it may be, I'd like to share some stories with you now. And before anybody out there loses their cool, please just wait for the end. We had a Viking who was frequently calling herself out sick, only to show up secretly at school all day just so she could work on student publications for the entire school day and not attend the rest of her classes. We had another Viking who skipped German very frequently and waved at the security staff as she left, with the staff assuming that she had a pass to leave campus. She didn't. The student headed to the mall with her friends for the rest of the day. This same Viking would spend many of her 6th hours when she was here in the bleachers working on her tan instead of working in the school library as she was supposed to. Then we had a student whose parents, who are immigrants to our nation and English was not their first language, didn't know what they were packing for lunch for the student, and they thought they were packing a Country Time Light lemonade. Well, it was a Miller Lite. Whoops. There's more. Hang with me. A Viking got in trouble for wearing short shorts and tried to prove to administration that her arms were naturally longer than most other girls, so the fingertip length should not have applied to her. A sports team all attended a party. The coach caught wind of this party and handled it by having the team run 21 full gym shuttle sprints. That number 21, go figure. We had a rambunctious Viking throw a snowball inside of a classroom, only to watch it go splat on the wall just as a teacher walked in. Poor choice, and even poorer timing. That same misguided Viking was caught calling himself in sick to school, which is not a great idea when your father coaches a sport at the school and is friends with the administrator who took the fake phone call. Maybe my favorite story I heard this year, and it's the last one, was when someone had a lunchtime chocolate milk chugging contest. Lunch supervisors had to shut it down when the students were chugging their 4th chocolate milk in a row, and there were concerns from the custodian on what they would be cleaning up later. Thank you, Elliot. Turns out that I was mistaken. None of these stories were about your Viking students this year. Sorry, if you were looking around out there, it wasn't you, none of you. These were actually stories, yes, about Vikings, but I never said this year's students. These were stories, they were 100% true. They were about your teachers and your administrators and what they did when they were in high school. Go figure. The student who called herself in sick just so she could stay in the student newspaper room all day, that was Mrs. Borgquist, the yearbook teacher. Go figure. Big shocker there. The student who called herself in sick so that she could, who walked out of the school thinking that she had everybody thought that she had a pass to go to the mall to get a tan out on the bleachers, that was Mrs. Matuzik, social studies teacher, and the future educators teacher, may I mention, 20 years ago. The Viking who accidentally brought a Miller Lite to school, that was Mrs. Catula, Spanish teacher. The volleyball team who attended the party during the season, that was actually brought to me from Mrs. Mobley, who teaches math. And you're never going to believe this, the student with the short shorts and the long arms, that was our AP research teacher, National Honor Society sponsor, and Walled Lake High School's Teacher of the Year, Miss Chanel Eastman. The chocolate milk chugger, this one's easy to believe, was Mr. Peruzzi, our football coach. He's a big guy, all right? He needs the calories, the protein, all that stuff, all right? And last but certainly not least, I can't stand up here and do this without sharing something about myself. The student who threw the snowball inside the school and in a separate incident a year later called himself out sick just to be caught by his own father who worked there, that was me, your principal, who definitely kept my parents on edge when I was in high school. They were always wondering what I was going to do next. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're watching this. They might be, by the way. Now, these stories were from our staff, and I'm telling you these stories with their permission and for a specific reason. You see, I'm supposed to give our graduates some advice. I usually have no shortage of that. Your teachers and your principal, whether anyone told us or not, were not too afraid to get into a little bit of trouble, to take some risks, to push the boundaries and see where it took us. You see, you were holed up in your rooms for the better part of 2 years, and when you emerged, you were like hungry bears exiting hibernation. You wanted to try new things and stretch your legs. And I hope that within the confines of common sense, decency, safety, and of course the law, you continue to do that, to take risks, be a little spontaneous, and remember that life can be a lot more exciting when you are willing to push the limits. And by this, I don't mean taking risks like running a red light or trying a new vape flavor or something like that. No, it could mean that if your college is not working out next year, take a leap and transfer to a different school. Declare a major that your parents might not approve of fully. And if you don't like that major, enlist in the Space Force or the Navy or something. That's good too. We can do that. Decide to stop being an employee and take a risk by starting your own business, even if it may, and it very well may, fail. Attend a rally or a march for a good cause, even if it may get a little loud and rambunctious. Stick up for your values and for the rights of others, even if it seems like an uphill battle. Throw a snowball inside. Just do me a favor. Don't tell your little siblings about that one. I don't want to deal with that next year, okay? So again, it's time to take some risks, and don't be afraid to get into a little bit of, as the late John Lewis said, good trouble, the kind of trouble that makes a difference. Your teachers and I obviously don't worry too much about this. Good luck, stay safe, but again, I hope you get into a little bit of trouble. Thank you. All right, at this time, we are now going to honor our students for their academic success, and that's why we're here. The class of 2022 has 136 seniors who graduated with honors. We will now recognize each of these groups for their accomplishments. 45 seniors have graduated with a 3.5 to 3.79 grade point average, and they have been honored by wearing a bronze cord. Students in this honor group, please stand now to be recognized. Thank you. There are 33 students who have graduated with a 3.8 to a 3.99 grade point average who are wearing a silver cord. Students in this honor group, please stand now to be recognized. Thank you. And behind me on stage are 58 seniors who have maintained a remarkable GPA of 4.0 and above and are wearing a gold cord. This is a remarkable feat, and I would like to recognize these students individually. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until all names have been called. We would also like to invite the families of these 4.0 students and above to stand in recognition as your student's name is called, in recognition of all that you have done to support them. Audience, please hold your applause until everybody has been recognized. Michaela Anton. Alyssa Aziz. Ledia Aziz. Evan Beal. Emmy Boone. Suhas Rao Chidi. Annalise Kuhn. Gina Donati, Eliana Island, Abigail Essenmacher, Richa Gaitonde, Kylie Gasso, Stephen Getz, Jenna Grimes, Mary Grimes, Isabella Heck, Christine Hanna, Madeline Hadimer, Andrew Hawley, James Hayes, Lily Hermes, Anna Height, Sage Ijlal, Nicholas Kay, John Kina, Joseph Cady, Maria Coco, Harshith Komidi, Kirtan Kompali, Matthew Latsky, Chloe Loftus, Antonia Luca, Caitlin Mansour, Taylor Mraz, Michaela Mullet, Ryan Nels, Rahul Nuthalapadi, Allison O'Connor, Samantha Pantelek, Luke Peck, Raquel Putras, Brendan Raftery, Adam Robinson, Roman Rucos, Aaliyah Schmotlach, Abigail Schaff, Levi Schwartz, Katharina Scott, Mina Shakir, Abigail Smith, Samantha Stable, Isabella Torado, Marcin Ogolnik, Haley Underwood, Amelia Villegas, George Vlahos, Jonathan Watson, and Andrew Yaldo. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our 2022 Distinguished Academic Scholars. At this time, 4.0 speakers, please approach the podium for your address.
Hello, friends, family, staff, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2022. Before we get started, we wanted to give a big thanks to everyone who worked so hard at making this graduation ceremony possible, and to all the teachers who worked diligently on getting us through the last 4 years.
Everyone had their share of difficulties, exaggerated by the challenging transition from in-person to online back to in-person. But our resilience as a class is astounding thanks to the support, kindness, and patience of Walled Lake Central staff, our parents, and our peers. We came back from online learning a better, stronger class. We had fun sitting front row at Friday night football games, dancing at homecoming and prom, and every other quintessential senior event that we were so lucky to be able to experience.
As we near the end of our high school career, we reminisce on the simplicity of our elementary and middle school days. However, these past 4 years were no walk in the park for any of us. There were a great deal of unforeseen challenges, but the overcoming of these obstacles led to substantial growth. In just a few short years, we withstood a worldwide pandemic and overcame hardships like none we've experienced before.
Despite the physical isolation, we came together. We developed ways to overcome, and we bounced back stronger than ever before to make one last bravo in our final year at Walled Lake Central. Through high school, there have been times where we were pushed to our limit, times where we felt so discouraged that we just wanted to give up, times where we messed up and made mistakes, and yet, in the end, we've managed to get back on our feet and pave the way towards a brighter future.
Not many people take the time to acknowledge how hard we have worked to reach this point in our lives, but we are all gathered here today to embrace both our victories and failures and be proud of the people we are now. Failure is a part of life that we are bound to come across. We should learn to accept that and instead use our mistakes as building blocks to succeed.
So, as we each move towards our own unique futures, always remember, failure should never hold you back from dreaming big. Failure is simply a small aspect of the grand scheme of our lives. It's necessary for success. Life is short, and it goes by fast. Our 4 years at Walled Lake Central have been filled with surprises and obstacles that have matured us each in our own ways. Despite being a class that has endured unprecedented levels of difficulty under an ongoing pandemic, each and every one of us has made it here today, and you should all be proud.
With that in mind, and even though it truly is easier said than done, try to do what you want to do in life. Continue to be the bright, outstanding individuals that you all are. And even if things don't go the way you planned, do not let that tear you down. You all deserve credit for your accomplishments thus far. So be proud of how far you've come and look forward to how far you will go in the future.
While obtaining our diplomas might spell the end of our high school career, the safety and familiarity, and the comfort of following a high school routine, it also means greater and more exciting things to come. While we are just finishing up our senior year and concluding this chapter of our lives, in the grand scheme of things, it truly is just another beginning.
No matter where you are headed next, whether it is college, trade school, the military, or the workforce, we ask you to set sail bravely into your future without hesitation. But don't forget to enjoy it. The next chapter of our lives will be exciting and novel, so instead of thinking of graduation as an end, think of it as a fresh start that awaits each and every one of you. And as always, go Vikings!
Thank you, speakers. Thank you. And now, under the direction of Mrs. Heidi Tigas, please welcome the Walled Lake Central Symphony Strings, accompanied by Kayla Cal and Kiera Streether, performing For Good.
That people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It will be that And now whatever way our stories end, I'll know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a sea dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from like a ship blown from as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder, like a sea drop halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
As president of the senior class of 2022, I am honored, thankful, and appreciative to introduce to you our senior class advisors, Mr. Peruzzi and Ms. Waldorf.
Now I would like to introduce to the podium someone who loves and cares for Central and the rest of the school district with a big heart. You may know him for his prominent Twitter presence, especially on snow days, or his annual visits to the school and classrooms each year. Please welcome to the stage our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Kenneth Gutman.
The story is told of a crow who was feeling very thirsty on a hot summer day. It flew all over the fields looking for water, but to no avail. For a long time, it flew here and there, but it could not find water to quench its thirst. It felt very weak and almost lost all hope. Suddenly, it saw a jar below a tree. It flew down to see if there was water inside, and there was indeed water, but at the bottom of the jar. The crow tried to push its head into the jar, but the crow could not reach the water with its beak. The neck of the pitcher was too long, and the water level was too low. Then it tried to tilt the jar for the water to flow out, but the jar was too heavy. Finally, the crow looked around and found some pebbles. It picked the pebbles one by one and dropped them in the jar. As more and more pebbles were dropped into the jar, the water level started rising. Soon the water level was high enough for the crow to drink from it. It drank the water, quenched its thirst, and happily flew to its destination. As is our tradition, I met recently with student leaders from each of our 3 high schools to talk about their experiences in Walled Lake schools, what they liked, what we could do better, and what they thought I should talk about today. And they mentioned a number of items. Among them, they believe you have done the best you could for the last couple of years, that you relied on your shared experience to building community during times of hardship and loss. that what you have endured has helped you to appreciate the time you have now and to not take any of this for granted. They said that the class of 2022 displayed incredible resilience, and that adversity has prepared you for whatever life has to offer. And they are correct. And it goes beyond that. It speaks to opportunity. It speaks to enjoying the process. It speaks to creating a better world. Before you lies a vast array of options to create a society of which we can all be proud. Individually and collectively, you are our best hope for a better tomorrow. To quote the poet laureate of Tennessee, Miley Cyrus, from her epic poem, The Climb, there's always going to be another mountain, always going to want to make it move, always going to be an uphill battle, sometimes I'm going to have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there, ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. And I hope you enjoy your climb. And like the thirsty crow, I hope you see challenges as opportunities for growth and innovation. And while I would like to wish you a world of never-ending snow days, instead, I wish you something more practical. I wish you a future full of resilience, full of the ability to adapt, to overcome, and to create. We are extremely proud of you, and you are prepared for what lies ahead. Tomorrow, your climb begins. Today, you celebrate. On behalf of the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, I congratulate you on your graduation from Walled Lake Central High School.
Mrs. Casagrande, on behalf of the faculty and administration of Walled Lake Central, I would like to present to the Board of Education the graduating class of 2022. These 351 students have fulfilled all the graduation requirements set forth by the Walled Lake Consolidated School District and the great state of Michigan.
Thank you. So before, thought I had the intro here. I heard Mr. Gutman talk about resilience, Mr. Medeo talk about risk, and I was going to talk about initially the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, that you've been probably tested on in your years of elementary through high school, but there's also risk and resilience. So I am yet corrected and still learning that there are 5 R's. So in addition, our Walled Lake Consolidated School mission emphasizes community, so that all students demonstrate that they are caring, responsible, knowledgeable citizens. And today I am going to touch a little bit on those soft skills that I believe will lead you throughout your professional and personal lives. Within the last year or so, I've been instructed personally on what's called the 5 C's. So they would be courage, things like humility, trust, curiosity, things like inquiry, empathy, compassion, reflection, caring, or collaboration, making sure that we can be empowered and open with others. And finally, commitment, having that drive or finding what you had that passion for in advocacy. So I personally chose to work on courage, and I heard one of our seniors here talk about courage a little bit too. So I think we're all kind of on the same page here. As almost recent, soon to be recent high school graduates, I believe that you should all consider courage. Have the courage to try something new. Take a chance to trust that what you've learned will take you to whatever is next. Be humble, knowing that you still have a lot to learn, whether, as again somebody mentioned here, you're going into the workforce, college, trade school, the armed forces, whatever you choose to do, and know that you should have the courage to take that next step with your support system. A lot of them are probably here today. Your family, friends, coaches, teachers, mentors, and more. We've guided you. We trust that you have learned and that you will have the courage to define who you will be after high school graduation. And parents, family members, friends, high school graduates here today, either in person or in spirit, continue to be there for support. Listen, share, encourage. Encourage our graduates to be courageous, bold, creative. Now is the time for them to step up. It's time for all of you to step up and make those next decisions. On behalf of the Board of Education, we congratulate you and know that you have the courage to create your own version of success. I'd now like to invite Mr. Medier and Mr. Gottman back up to the podium.
Thank you, Mrs. Casagrande. Mr. Gutman, on behalf of the faculty and administration of Walled Lake Central High School, I hereby present to you the class of 2022.
Mrs. Casagrande, I certify that the young men and women seated before you have fulfilled all of the requirements of the prescribed curriculum, and I recommend that they be graduated from Walled Lake Central High School.
Now, by the power vested in the Board of Education, by the state of Michigan, and by the citizens of Walled Lake Consolidated School District, I hereby confer the diplomas of graduation with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Antonia Luca.
Levi Schwartz.
Matthew Latsky.
Kate Scott.
Lily Hermes.
Mina Shakir.
Richa Gaitonde.
Caitlin Mansour.
Annalise Kuhn.
Taylor Morose.
Emmy Boone.
Michaela Mullet.
Elia Sechrist.
Ryan Nels.
Alyssa Aziz.
Raul Nudalapati.
Raquel Putris.
Allison O'Connor.
Abigail Essenmacher.
Samantha Pantelic.
Eliana Island.
Luke Peck.
Gina Donati.
Adam Robinson.
Suhas Rao Chidi.
Roman Rukos.
Evan Beal.
Aaliyah Schmatlak.
Lydia Aziz.
Abigail Schaff.
Michaela Anton.
Andrew Yaldu.
Haley Underwood.
Jonathan Watson.
Brendan Raftery.
George Vlahos.
James Hayes.
Emilia Villegas.
Andrew Hawley.
Marcin Ugolnik.
Madeline Hattemer.
Isabella Torrado.
Christine Hanna.
Samantha Stubbiel.
Isabella Hack.
Alyssa Alexander.
Mary Grimes.
Zachary Adams.
Jenna Grimes.
Cameron Abu.
Stephen Getz.
Christina Abo.
Kylie Gasso.
Bryce Aaron.
Chloe Loftus.
Emma Collins.
Kirtan Kampali.
Brooke Wojciechowski.
Harshi Komidi.
Asia Baker.
Maria Coco.
Alitzel Eslava.
Joseph Cotty.
Jessica Collage.
John Keena.
Jacob Rigolo.
Nicholas K.
Lauren Matini.
Sage Ijlal.
Isaac Belanger.
Anna Height.
Justine Becker.
Shaylin Athade.
Colin Beck.
Isabella Jugman.
Brendan Biaco.
Isabel Belanger.
David Awurum.
Shion Lovelace.
Alana Elias.
Elena Tuz.
Clara Elias.
Abigail Zara.
Khalid Allward.
Sean Smith.
Selena Alos.
Connor Leslie.
Isabella Allen.
Alexander Lewis.
Anthony Cabadas.
Ethan Lindeman.
Manuela Buttress.
Kelly Logaitis.
Kaylee Burnock.
Sean Mays.
Sophia Bruce.
Zachary Mather.
Garrett Brady.
Cherie Martin.
Michael Bowman.
Cadence Morogi.
Caleb Bozak.
Caleb Morogi.
Deanna Beclaser.
Isabella Marginette.
Britton Bashirs.
Ninos Mansour.
Jacob Berkovich.
Jasmine Milane.
Elena Benny.
Ariana Mack.
Jordan Benjamin.
Chloe Lundy Young.
Desiree Cunningham.
Nicholas Muad.
Lainey Kraft.
Marion Morales.
Sean Courtney.
Joseph Moore.
Luke Combs.
Brendan Momini.
Caleb Coley.
Gabrielle McHale.
Stephen Clay.
Georgie Mahilly.
Kaylee Chapp.
Brianna Middleton.
Jeremy Chapp.
Grace Mamelli.
Brandon Chapp.
Sierra McConnell.
Alice Carrera.
Jonah McChester.
Ashlyn Campbell.
Donna McAlpine.
Sophia Camacho.
Ethan Pokovitz.
Lorita Elias.
Aiden Painco.
Sophie Elia.
Ryan Ulrich.
Elijah Island.
Faith Olson.
Daniel El Ayubi.
Kiar Odish.
Alexa Ekman.
Ethan Oblak.
Logan Duso.
Chase Nisowski.
Alexander Doskoris.
Precious Inkuzer.
McCabe Din.
Jake Nichols.
Derek Deatley.
Ryan Nelson.
Dominic DeBury.
Teresa Naim.
Lourdes Davish.
Christian Muniz Monroy.
Gabriella DeLu.
Jacob Ralco.
Sonaria Gaines.
Sarah Radovanovic.
Kari Fueki.
Emily Rackner.
Jonathan Foy.
Aiden Kasawa.
Justin Fowler.
Angelo Carana.
Danielle Fick.
Angelo KG.
Nicholas Ferreter.
Santiago Plata III.
Ashton Farber.
Melissa Perez.
Mina Faisal.
Morgan Pay.
Syra Fahim.
Fahad Sadat.
Emily Evers.
Trinity Rutherford.
Bennett Grimes.
Hannah Ruffin.
Diana Gonzalez.
Peyton Ross.
Angelica Gonzalez.
Sarah Romaya.
Jillian Gold.
Antonio Romano.
Mark July.
Gabriel Rojas.
Theodora Jakai.
Jalen Rivers.
Ella Gergescu.
Julia Richardson.
Jack George.
Colin Ramsey.
Gabriella George.
William Sealis.
Nathan Gainier.
Shannon Scott.
Becca Gowenda.
Katrina Scott.
James Gauthier.
Ryan Schoenick.
Katarina Heba.
Jamon Scarber.
Gabriella Hawley.
Tyler Samples.
Alyssa Hatcher.
Natalie Samples.
Carson Hardy.
Miranda Sigmani.
Julian Hanna.
Chloe Sigmani.
Kyra Hampton.
Michael Small.
Ples Halsell.
Alana Sinawi.
Jaden Hayu.
Brandon Shipton.
Andrew Haddad.
Mark Sheena.
David Hack.
Marcus Sheena.
Kira Gomez.
Orlando Shako.
Rachel Gruzas.
Austin Shao.
John Heflin.
Frederick Shaman.
Matthew Hayden.
Julius Shafu.
Owen Herman.
Carly Setterington.
Shayla Hill.
Lily Semmel.
Zachary Hill.
Christian Sacco.
Nevaeh Holbrook.
Andrew Sutter.
Bryce Howard.
Isabella Sulaka.
Delon Husky.
Victoria Stewart.
Syeda Hussein.
Jonathan Stewart.
Fadi Jacob.
Trent Stewart.
Elizabeth Jadan.
Johan Stahl Thiessen.
Anthony Jazalt.
Jackson Spencer.
Gavin Jarris.
Carl Smith.
Andrew Jennery.
Ditmir Sukna.
Alec Johnson.
Ryan Relko.
Carlos Johnson.
Griffin Wakeling.
Omar Jones.
Andrew Walls.
Dylan Janalagata.
Randy Wade.
Alexis Calapure.
Brady Wade.
Allison Karana.
Malachi Vincent.
Dahlia Kareem.
Antonio Vera Calzada.
Alexander Kareem.
Tan Trin.
Maya Katua.
Matthew Toy.
Mariana Katua.
Isabella Taro.
Nolan Kasab.
Hironaga Takahashi.
Gavin Kasab.
Connor Williams.
Aiden Frank Kasab.
Drake Wessenberg.
Aiden Sean Kasab.
Douglas Workman.
Danielle Kasadish.
Zachary Welch.
Jalen Kirksey.
Helena Wendelowski.
Anya Koroskovska.
John Weglars.
Ryvan Koshi.
Damian Washam.
Janelle Corcus.
Riley Wall.
Colton Kuhn.
James Wilson Jr.
Madison Lacrosse.
Tristan Williams.
Yeji Lee.
Gabriel Zaytuna.
Alyssa Lasinski.
Devin Zach. Julia Yono. Miranda Johanna. Katrina Yaldo. India Wyatt. Van Wright. And Brian Woods.
At this time, please stand for the singing of Walled Lake Central's alma mater by Walled Lake Central's choir under the direction of Ms. Olivia Bloomer.
We're here today to honor ye, our alma mater fair, to stand beside thee ever in defeat and in victory ever share. We pledge eternal loyalty, and our virtues shall defend, for the blue and gold will all stand together, Walled Lake until the end.
Everyone here at Walled Lake Central shares your joy and celebrates this day with you. We are sending you out into the working world, to college, or wherever your ways may lead you, with great hopes and certainly with our best wishes. We want you to remain proud of the education you received here at Walled Lake Central, and we are counting on your help in the years to come to keep our school strong so that those who come after you may enjoy increasing quality in the education that they receive. Audience, please get your cameras ready as we are about to perform the turning of the tassel. Would the class of 2022 please stand if you are not already? You are now graduates of Walled Lake Central High School. Please turn your tassel to the left. Congratulations to our newest group of alumni.